So here's the next part of what we're doing, and I'm going to look up what we see when we're looking at our paper. You're going to be given a center point. You're going to be given a point that the equation passes through, the circle passes through. These are points on the circumference, a point on the circumference of the circle. And so what we're going to do is we're not given the radius, so we have to solve for the radius. So we're going to use what we're given and then solve for what's missing. So this is just like we were talking about. This is the algebra skill that we have to keep using over and over again, the skill of analysis, and then we're going to solve algebraically. So it says the center is at the origin, therefore it's at 0, 0. So we can input 0 for h and 0 for k. And we're going to be solving for r squared. All right, and so here we go. We can do a little bit of math. We have an x-coordinate that we can use and a y-coordinate that we can use. So we'll input for x, we'll input a 3 here, and then we'll input a -2. All right, and then we'll do the math accordingly. And I'm going to tell you that you can leave your answer in square root terms. That's not a big deal. We're going to solve for that r by taking the square root eventually, and we can just leave it in those terms. 3 minus 0 is obviously 3, so 3 squared, plus -2 minus 0 is still -2. We're going to square it, and that's going to be equal to r squared. All right, so we're going to do some math. 9 plus 4 equals r squared. 9 plus 4 is 13 equals r squared. I'm going to move on up here and finish. I'm going to rewrite 13 equals r squared so that I can go ahead and take my square root of both sides, and the square root of 13 is equal to r. So our radius in this on this circle happens to be the square root of 13. You can find a decimal for it if you really want to know, but not a big deal. You can leave it in those terms. You can't even factor anything out of it. And that's it. That's how you find it. I'm sure the problem on the page is much easier. I'm sure it'll be something that that has a perfect square, and that's it. So we're going to move on to something that looks more difficult but really isn't.